Hi, I'm Tricia, an organic gardener. I grow organically for a healthy and safe food supply, for a clean and sustainable environment, for an enjoyable and rewarding experience. Homemade, wholesome cheese is fun to make. Today we're going to be making some farmhouse cheddar, which is a delicious hard cheese. To make this cheese, you're going to need 2 gallons of whole milk, 1 packet of direct set mesophilic culture, a half a teaspoon of liquid rennet, 1 tablespoon of cheese salt, 1/4 cup of unchlorinated water, and cheese wax. As far as equipment, you'll need a large stock pot, slotted spoon, a long knife, cheesecloth, cheese press, dairy thermometer, cheese mat, cheese board, strainer, and wax brush. Don't use any aluminum equipment. Stainless steel works the best. A note on the milk. It must be really fresh. And as a personal preference, I use raw milk, but you can use pasteurized milk as long as it's not ultra pasteurized. To get started, make sure that everything that touches the cheese is clean and sterilized. The first step in the process is to heat the milk to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. To do this, plug your sink and fill it with hot water. Put the pot in the hot water, pour the milk into your pot, clip the thermometer, and cover the pot. I've heated some water in a kettle just in case I need to adjust the temperature of the water in the sink. If it needs to be warmer, I'll add a little hot water. If it needs to be cooler, I'll add a little cold water. As the milk comes up to temperature, stir occasionally to make sure the pot heats evenly. Once the milk reaches 90 degrees Fahrenheit, it's time to add the culture. And then we're going to stir thoroughly after about 60 seconds. After stirring thoroughly, cover the pot and let the milk sit and allow the culture to ripen for about 45 minutes. Maintain the temperature at 90 degrees. While the culture is ripening, I'm going to add a half teaspoon of liquid rennet to 1/4 cup of cool, unchlorinated water. Once the 45 minutes are up, add the diluted rennet and stir gently, top to bottom, for 1 minute. Since we're using farm fresh milk, we're going to top stir for an additional minute. Cover the pot and let it set for another 45 minutes. Keep the pot of milk at a nice 90 degrees Fahrenheit during this time. Check the curd when the time is up. You want a nice firm curd with a clean break. We're going to cut the curd into 1/2-inch pieces. Using a long knife, cut vertical lines all the way to the bottom of the pot. Then do the same thing with horizontal lines. Then the third cut is going to be at an angle to form little cubes. After cutting, let the curd sit undisturbed for about 5 minutes. Slowly heat the curd to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit by adding water from the kettle into the water in the sink. It's important to do this slowly. You don't want to change the temperature more than 2 degrees Fahrenheit every 5 minutes. This process should take about 30 minutes. The curds will shrink and the whey will increase. Stir continuously. Bingo! 100 degrees. Time to put the lid back on and let it set for 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes is up. I've placed my colander lined with cheesecloth over a large bowl to catch the whey so that I can use it later. Tie up the cheesecloth and hang it to dry for 1 hour. Hang them in a warm spot and avoid cold drafts. Take down the bag and then break up the curds with your hands, and we're going to add 1 tablespoon of cheese salt at that time. Break up the curd to the size of a walnut. Pack the curds into a 2-pound mold lined with cheesecloth. Now we're going to press the curd to 10 pounds of pressure for about 10 minutes. Now we're going to take the cheese out of the press and we're going to turn it over, and then we're going to put it back in, but this time for 20 pounds of pressure for 10 minutes. After this, we're going to do the same thing, except this time it's going to be 50 pounds of pressure for 12 hours. Well, my cheese has finished pressing. I'm going to take it out. and air dry it on a cheese mat until a nice rind has formed. Air dry it at room temperature, flipping it about 2 or 3 times a day. You'll know it's air dried when you have a uniform yellow coloring on your rind. The cheese is finished air drying, and now it's time to wax it and age it. Heat the wax in a double boiler. I'm using an old pot and tin can, which I use just for wax. Before I start waxing, I'm going to wipe the cheese with a vinegar moistened cloth to make sure it doesn't mold under the wax. With a natural bristled brush, apply a thin layer of wax to the cheese. Add another layer once the first layer has dried. It helps to wax a label with the date and variety into the cheese. Now the cheese needs to age for at least a month in a cool, humid location. A mini fridge with a secondary thermostat and a hygrometer is a great place to age the cheese. Shoot for a temperature between 46 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit and a humidity of 75 to 90%. For more information and great recipes, get this book, Home Cheesemaking by Ricky Carroll. So, make some cheese and grow organic for life.